All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of immunotherapy?
I am.
Today, we're going to be looking at a potential game changer
Oh, wow.
called Vopratelimab.
Oh,
So this is all about harnessing your body's own defenses to fight cancer.
that's incredible.
We're going to be using an article from Assay Genie that was published in January
Okay.
to kind of break this down.
Sounds good. So instead of attacking the tumor directly, we're
Right.
kind of shifting focus to making the immune system
Yeah.
more effective at eliminating cancer cells.
Okay, so that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What exactly is Vopratelimab?
Okay, so Vopratelimab is a monoclonal antibody, and it's currently being investigated in clinical trials.
Okay.
So unlike traditional chemotherapy,
Right.
which targets the cancer cells directly, Vopratelimab works by binding to a specific protein called ICS,
ICOS.
which is found on the surface of T cells.
Oh, T cells.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember those from high school biology.
Yeah,
Aren't those like the special forces of our immune system?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, T cells are super important for recognizing and destroying threats, including cancer cells.
Yeah, okay.
Now, ICOS
Yes.
acts kind of like a signal booster
Okay.
for T cells.
Right.
When Vopratelimab binds to ICOS,
Yeah.
it amplifies the signal, essentially activating those T cells
Oh, wow.
and making them much more potent in their attack against cancer.
So instead of just having more T cells, we're
Yes.
making the existing ones work harder.
Yeah,
That's pretty clever.
it is. And it's especially important
Okay.
because many cancers are very good at evading the immune system.
Oh, really?
They kind of have ways of suppressing or hiding
Interesting.
from T cells.
Ah.
Vopratelimab helps to overcome this immune evasion
Okay.
by turning up the volume on the T cell response.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the article mentioned that Vopratelimab is showing some promising results.
Yeah.
In clinical trials for certain types of cancer.
Exactly.
So tell me more about that.
It's showing particular promise in treating non-small cell lung cancer,
Okay.
which is one of the most common and aggressive forms of lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
We're also seeing encouraging results in head and neck squamous cell carcinoma.
So this could be like a real breakthrough for people who are
Yes.
facing those diagnoses.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
How do researchers know if this is actually working?
That's a great question.
What are they looking for?
So clinical trials evaluate both the safety and efficacy
Okay.
of new treatments.
Right.
And in the case of Vopratelimab,
Yeah.
researchers are monitoring several key factors.
Like what?
So first, they're assessing whether the treatment is safe and well tolerated by patients.
Right.
They're also looking for signs of tumor shrinkage or ideally complete tumor remission.
And that's what makes these early clinical trial results so exciting.
Absolutely. The data so far suggests that Vopratelimab not only appears to be safe, but it's also showing the ability to shrink tumors
Wow.
and potentially improve survival rates.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's still early, but those are definitely signs we want to see.
Okay, so it's about safety and effectiveness.
Right.
Now, the article also mentioned something about Vopratelimab working even better
Yes.
when combined with other immunotherapies.
That's a key point.
Okay.
Vopratelimab seems to have a synergistic effect
Okay.
when used in combination with other immunotherapies,
Okay.
particularly a class of drugs called anti-PD-1 inhibitors.
Synergistic effect.
Yeah.
So can you break that down for me?
Okay, so think of it this way.
Okay.
Cancer cells are sneaky.
Okay.
They often express a protein called PDL1,
Okay.
which basically acts like a stop sign for T cells.
Interesting.
It binds to a receptor on the T cell called PD-1,
Oh.
signaling the T cell to just disengage
Wow.
and leave the cancer cell alone.
So the cancer cells are basically like hitting the brakes
Exactly.
on the immune response.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's where anti-PD-1 inhibitors come in.
Uh-huh.
They block that stop signal,
Gotcha.
essentially releasing the brakes and allowing the T cells to continue their attack.
I see. So Vopratelimab activates the T cells.
Yes.
And the anti-PD-1 inhibitors take the brakes off.
Exactly.
Okay, so that sounds like a pretty powerful combination.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's proving to be very promising in clinical trials.
Okay.
We're seeing that the combination of Vopratelimab and anti-PD-1 inhibitors
Yeah.
is potentially more effective than either treatment alone.
Wow. So it seems like researchers are really starting to understand
Yeah.
how to fine-tune the immune system
It's really amazing.
to fight cancer more effectively.
That's the essence of immunotherapy, and it's why this field is generating so much excitement.
Yeah.
We're moving away from blunt instruments like chemo and radiation,
Yeah.
and we're learning how to leverage the power
Yeah.
and complexity of the immune system.
To target and destroy those cells.
Exactly, with greater precision.
Okay. And this all ties back to Vopratelimab,
It does.
which is showing real promise.
Yes.
Now, the article also mentioned something about a biosimilar version.
Yeah, Assagene, the company behind the article we're discussing,
Yeah.
is making a biosimilar version of Vopratelimab available.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Remind me what biosimilar means.
Okay, so a biosimilar is like a generic version
Okay.
of a complex biologic drug like Vopratelimab.
Oh, I see.
It's highly similar
Okay.
to the original drug, but typically more affordable.
Okay. Why is that important for research, though?
Well, new drugs like Vopratelimab are expensive to develop,
Yeah.
and that cost is reflected in the price,
Yeah, of course.
which can be a barrier for research.
Yeah.
Making a biosimilar version available makes it much more accessible to scientists who want to study it and explore its full potential.
So it's like opening up the doors for more researchers to get involved in this field.
Yeah, and it's really a testament to the collaborative nature
Right.
of scientific research and the shared goal of finding better treatments.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of ground here
Yeah.
in this first part of our deep dive into Vopratelimab.
It's been great.
We've talked about what it is,
Right.
how it works,
Yeah.
and why it's showing such promise in these clinical trials.
Yeah.
But there's still so much more to explore.
There is.
So in the next part,
Yes.
we're going to delve deeper into those clinical trial results
Okay.
and discuss what they mean for the future of cancer treatment.
Sounds great.
I can't wait.
Me too.
Stay with us.
Welcome back. So let's dive a little deeper into those clinical trials and
Yeah.
kind of unpack what makes those early results so promising.
Yeah, we touched on some positive outcomes.
Yeah.
But what kind of data are we actually seeing?
Well, in one study involving patients with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, Vopratelimab, when combined with an anti-PD-1 inhibitor,
Right.
showed significant improvement in overall survival
Okay.
compared to like the standard chemo regimen.
So that's a pretty big step forward.
Yeah, it is a huge step forward.
Are we talking months
Yeah.
or years of added survival?
Yeah, so in this particular study,
Okay.
the median overall survival for patients receiving the Vopratelimab combination
Mm-hmm.
was over 17 months,
Wow.
whereas those on standard chemo had a median survival of just under 13 months.
So that's a difference of several months.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And that could be really meaningful for patients and their families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What about the other type of cancer you mentioned?
Right.
Head and neck squamous cell carcinoma.
Yes.
What are the results looking like there?
Similar positive trends
Okay.
are emerging.
Well,
Trials involving Vopratelimab in combination with other immunotherapies
Mm-hmm.
are showing really encouraging response rates,
Okay.
meaning tumors are shrinking or even disappearing in a good number of patients.
So it's not even just about extending life.
Right.
It's about giving people a chance to actually live
Exactly.
without the burden of their cancer.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that's truly remarkable. Okay, so are there any downsides?
Yeah, that's a crucial consideration.
Yeah, what about side effects?
Yeah, so one of the biggest advantages of immunotherapy, like Vopratelimab,
Okay.
is the potential for fewer and less severe side effects
Okay.
compared to traditional chemotherapy or radiation.
That's good news, right?
It is good news.
Chemo can really take a toll.
Oh, absolutely.
So what sorts of side effects are we seeing with Vopratelimab?
While it's generally well tolerated,
Okay.
Vopratelimab can cause
Yeah.
side effects like fatigue,
Okay.
skin reactions, and some inflammation
Right.
in the certain organs.
Right.
However, these are often manageable and less debilitating
Okay.
than the side effects associated with chemotherapy.
So it's a potential win-win.
Yeah.
Increased survival rates.
Right.
With potentially fewer and less severe side effects.
Absolutely. But it's important to remember
Yes, of course.
this is all still in the research phase.
Right.
Yeah, we've got to be cautious about over-promising.
Of course.
More research is needed to
Yeah.
confirm these initial findings and explore long-term outcomes.
What are the next steps then?
So there are several key areas of ongoing research.
Okay.
Scientists are looking into whether Vopratelimab is effective for other types of cancer.
Right.
They're also investigating different dosing regimens
Okay.
and trying to determine which patients are most likely to benefit from this treatment.
So it's about refining the approach.
Exactly.
And figuring out how to personalize it.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing about this field.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving.
Right.
We're learning more all the time.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Now, there's one other exciting avenue of research I'd like to mention.
Okay.
Scientists are exploring ways to combine Vopratelimab with other cutting-edge therapies, like CAR T-cell therapy.
Now, I've heard of CAR T-cell therapy.
Yes.
Isn't that where they re-engineer a patient's own immune cells
You got it.
to attack cancer?
Yeah, it's a very promising form of immunotherapy.
Okay.
So researchers are now investigating if combining CAR T-cells with Vopratelimab
Yeah.
could lead to even more powerful anti-cancer effects.
Oh, wow. So it's like immunotherapy on steroids.
Precisely.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
Stacking therapies for a greater effect.
That's one of the most exciting frontiers in cancer research.
Wow.
We're moving beyond single-agent therapies
Oh.
and realizing that the most effective approach
Mm.
might involve combining different treatments that work together
Right.
to boost the immune system
Yeah.
and fight cancer from multiple angles.
This is mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
So what's the takeaway message here?
I think the main takeaway
Yeah.
is that we're entering a new era of cancer treatment.
Okay.
Immunotherapy is revolutionizing the way we fight cancer. And Vopratelimab is at the forefront of this revolution.
Okay.
While it's still early days,
Yeah.
the results we're seeing in clinical trials offer a glimmer of hope
Yeah.
for people facing these difficult diagnoses,
Right.
potentially leading to longer, healthier lives.
So it sounds like a ray of hope.
It is.
But research is still ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a need for cautious optimism in these early stages.
It's crucial to be realistic and remember that there's still much to learn
Of course.
about Vopratelimab and its long-term effects.
Okay.
But the early data is certainly encouraging.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say that immunotherapy in general holds immense promise
Yeah.
for the future of cancer care.
Okay.
Now, speaking of the future,
Yeah.
in the next and final part of our deep dive,
Right.
let's shift our focus to the broader implications
Okay.
of immunotherapy and what it might mean for treating other diseases.
Sounds good. I'm ready when you are. We've spent a lot of time talking about Vopratelimab and how it can change cancer treatment. But I'm kind of curious,
Yeah.
are these immunotherapy breakthroughs
Mhm.
just limited to cancer? Or could they be used for other diseases too?
That's a great question and one that a lot of scientists are looking into right now.
Okay.
The success of immunotherapy in cancer
Mm-hmm.
has made people really interested in seeing if it could be used
Okay.
for all sorts of other conditions.
Like what?
Well, think about diseases that involve like a
Yeah.
dysfunctional immune response,
Okay.
like autoimmune diseases,
Right.
where the immune system attacks the body's own tissues.
Yeah. Okay.
Immunotherapy could be used to re-educate the immune system to
Interesting.
kind of like dampen that response and restore balance.
So instead of boosting the immune response,
Yes,
like we're doing with cancer,
right.
we could turn it down a bit in autoimmune diseases.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about fine-tuning the immune system, whether we're amplifying it to fight cancer or dialing it back to protect healthy tissues.
Yeah. So are there any specific autoimmune diseases
Yes.
where immunotherapy is like actually showing promise?
Oh, there are several.
Like what?
Rheumatoid arthritis,
Okay.
which causes that painful joint inflammation.
Right.
There are already immunotherapy drugs that are helping
Ooh.
to control the disease
Wow,
and
that-
improve quality of life for patients.
that's great.
Yeah.
What about other areas
Okay.
beyond autoimmune diseases?
Another big area of research is infectious diseases.
Oh, okay.
Scientists are exploring ways to use immunotherapy
Yeah.
to boost the body's defenses against like
Okay.
viruses and bacteria
Uh-huh.
and even parasites.
So basically making the immune system better at fighting off infections.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Especially in a world where antibiotic resistance is a growing problem.
Right. That could be a real game changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
There's even research looking at immunotherapy for neurodegenerative diseases,
Oh, wow.
like Alzheimer's disease, where
Okay.
inflammation seems to play a big role. Wow.
And how the disease progresses.
This is incredible.
It is.
It seems like immunotherapy could revolutionize medicine
Yeah.
way beyond just cancer.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
It's like a whole new set of tools
Yes.
to tackle these big health problems that we're facing.
It really is. And we're just getting started.
Right.
There's so much more to learn in this field.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It's like a field full of possibilities.
It is.
I want to go back to something you said earlier
Sure.
about fine-tuning the immune system.
Mm.
It makes me wonder,
Yeah.
with all this progress,
Right.
are we getting closer to a point where we can, like, program the immune system
Great question.
to do what we want it to do?
And Kind of speaks to the ultimate goal of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Understanding the immune system so well that we can control it perfectly.
Right.
We're not quite there yet,
Yeah.
but the progress we're making is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me too.
This has been a fascinating look
It has.
at Vopratelimab and the whole world of immunotherapy.
It's been a pleasure.
Any final thoughts?
Well, I think the big takeaway here is that we're seeing a major shift in medicine.
Okay.
Immunotherapy is changing how we think about treating diseases.
Yeah.
And the possibilities seem endless.
Right.
It's a really exciting time for healthcare.
I totally agree. And to our listeners, we say stay curious, stay informed,
Absolutely.
and stay tuned for more deep dives into science and medicine.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring.